I realized that I forgot to talk about another very serious conversation that took place on the trip to Monterey. And if it isn't obvious by now, so much was going on at this and at other points in the story. And also, not all of this is like fun stuff, that I love to remember, right? Like, not stress causing stuff. So, some of these things I've suppressed, and anyway, forgive me. But okay, so while we were in Monterey, like I mentioned earlier, this is the first time that Peter opened up a little bit about his ex. I took the opportunity to ask a couple questions. Who wouldn't? And that was that. Here's the other thing that we talked about that I totally forgot about in the midst of discussing the other things that took place. So again, I can't emphasize enough how many important things to our relationship, in my opinion, and I thought in both of our opinions, took place on this trip to Monterey, this getaway, this first time that we were away together as a couple, which again, for all intents and purposes, I thought had been successful. I thought that we had actually tackled things in our relationship and made good progress on. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. But getting ahead of myself. So I remember, so mind you, I guess for a little bit more context, so I don't drink. Peter drinks. And he doesn't, I don't drink because I can't handle my alcohol. Peter can handle his. So that doesn't necessarily bother me. I guess, like, we had an okay relationship in the midst of, I should say, understanding, where we would go to a lot of bars because he drinks a lot. Again, can handle his shit, but it didn't particularly, I promise you, it didn't necessarily start to annoy me, except for when it did, when I realized, like, oh wow, we're going to like 4 or 5 bars. And it'd be like, the cool thing is like, again, I'm California sober. So if we're on vacation, I can go do my thing, right? But it's like, holy shit, this is all we're doing. Like, oh my God. And I can't emphasize this enough, like how much of our relationship, literally all of it, was all done at Peter's convenience. If anything inconvenienced him in the slightest, it didn't happen. Yes, I know how stupid that makes me look. I've said this in probably every fucking video at this point. How dumb I look, how dumb I acted, all in the attempts of having this stupid fantasy that's all it was. It was just a fantasy, creating this fantasy. And yeah, I'll talk more about Chicago and meeting that set of girlies a little bit later. But again, so we were in between bars, right? Which again is fine. It's not like we're slurring. It's not like this is like nighttime partying. It's like daytime out on the pier in Monterey, beautiful sunshine when, and we're doing sightseeing, I guess, in between the bars. But Peter mentioned that he wanted to live in his building for another year. So Peter lives in a luxury high-rise in downtown San Francisco. He rents a living room, which is actually common in San Francisco. I heard it's common in New York, but he rents a living room and with 2 other people at a luxury high-rise in downtown San Francisco, and they all kind of share the kitchen, the 3 of them. The building has incredible amenities, amazing amenities. You're not even allowed to fucking open the door for yourself. A little bit too bougie for my taste. The DoorDash orders have to go through the metal detector, and you can't, like, they're not allowed to take it up to the door. They have to come down. You have to pick up your packages at the... Do you understand how rare it is for a place to have a swimming pool in San Francisco? So he has a swimming pool and a hot tub. Don't forget the hot tub, because that'll definitely come back up a little bit later. What I'm getting at